on BBC One.
It's been a time full of opportunities for unscrupulous scammers.
A time where loneliness and isolation have been preyed upon like never before.
Cases of romance fraud have skyrocketed. It can be an emotionally and financially devastating crime, with victims losing an average of £10,000.
Whether you're retired, a teacher, or a doctor, it could happen to anyone.
I can't believe that I believed them.
So we're back to expose the lies behind these audacious cons and to try and stop the scammers in their tracks. We'll be revealing the tricks these scammers will use to cheat and mislead.
They're exchanging information and it's going to be moved around on a dark web.
And meeting the teams working day and night to bring them to justice.
And as ever, we'll have everything you need to know to make sure you and your money stay safe.
Who the are you?
Don't swear at me, pal.
Coming up, we're on the trail of the fraudster who professed love in order to steal £20,000.
Alison, what do you want to say to him?
Why did you take my money?
And the specialist teams doing everything they can to catch these unscrupulous scammers in the act.
Please open the door with false entry.
We've been contacted by someone called Alison. She's come into terms with the possibility that she may have been scammed by a guy called Carl. Let's take a look.
It was uniformdating.com. He looked very attractive, looked really nice. He was from America. He was in the American Navy, but lived in, so he said Leeds at the time. He'd always send like really nice pictures, you know, like me brighten up my day and all that kind of stuff. The whole scenario has been about trying to get his luggage, him getting arrested and needing money to come back to the UK. I think initially it was just under 2,000, but obviously as time went on, things escalated and it turned out to be a bit more. He goes, I promised to pay back every penny, and you know, so we kind of made plans sort of be together really as time went on. I'd like to think it's all true. And then part of me probably needs to accept that he isn't who he is.
She seems vulnerable, Kim.
Yeah, I think she's obviously very, very emotionally involved in this. I hate seeing people so emotional like that.
There's no time to waste. I'm going to try and find out if the documents Carl sent Alison about his naval background stack up.
And whilst Ash does that, I've arranged to meet Alison. Living in Nottingham and working as an office assistant, I wanted to find out why this 50-year-old mum fell for Captain Carl.
Alison, thank you very much for coming and speaking to me today. Before you met Carl, what was your relationship status?
I'd been in a relationship, but it had ended sort of probably end of 2017. And so I was single, and then I decided to go on the internet. I went on uniform.com.
Okay.
Because I quite like people in uniform.
Yeah, of course. I get that. My
yeah.
boyfriend's in the military, so I get that. Was he Navy?
He was American.
Yes,
Navy.
okay.
Absolutely gorgeous photo. Thought, yeah, I like him. So it all started from there, really.
The two instantly struck up a bond, with conversation quickly moving off the dating site onto a private messaging service.
He has a house in Leeds, and he said he was looking to retire from the Navy. He was interested in going into like property development when he came back over to the UK.
Did he say when he might be back? Did he?
He said he should be back May time, but he asked if he could send his luggage over to me. I said, yeah, to kind of build up a rapport and a relationship with somebody. So I gave him my address, and then that's where we started to have a few problems.
After agreeing to have Carl's luggage delivered from Kuwait to her house in Nottingham, Alison received an email from the shipping company.
His luggage had been held by
customs and that he needed to pay some money for it to get released. He obviously asked me, and then he asked his sister.
How much was that?
3,000–4,000.
£3,000–4,000?
Yes. So his sister had sent some, and he'd sent me a receipt to show that his sister had sent him this money.
Okay.
And so obviously then I thought, well, you know, to get it released, that's what I need to do.
Did he explain why he couldn't pay it?
He said he didn't have access to his bank account.
Because he was away?
Yeah.
Entrusted to look after Carl's luggage and determined to get him over to the UK, Alison agreed to add to his sister's payment and paid £1,842 towards the customs fee.
I did have some savings.
Yeah.
And then I ended up using my credit card as well.
Was his luggage released?
No, his luggage wasn't released. It then went to, is it Turkish customs?
Okay.
And it got held up there.
Do we know why?
They said that it had got a large amount of money in a little box in this luggage.
And what happens next?
Then they wanted import taxes or export tax because of the vast amount of money that was in his luggage. He said he was getting a military flight back to the UK. So I went to Heathrow, waited to come off the flight, and he wasn't there.
Whilst she was waiting for Carl at Heathrow, she received a frantic message from his sister.
So he got arrested in Dubai for questioning him, and then basically he needed some more money to get him out of prison.
So how much money did he need to be bailed out?
It was quite a lot of money. I really can't remember, because it's like there's two elements to this. There's his luggage, and then there's this element of him being arrested and needing to be released. But I think in total, in this whole scenario of this nightmare, let's say, I probably parted with, in total, probably about over £20,000.
Okay.
I just feel so stupid, gullible, all those emotions, and not being able to talk to anybody about it because I was embarrassed and frightened what people would think and say.
Whilst Kim continues to gather details about Alison's story, I've arrived in London, where I'm hoping to shed light on Carl's naval career. Carl shared several documents about his military service with Alison, and I've asked Gary Miles, head of economic crime at the Met Police, to take a look. And immediately, he spots details which concern him.
Obviously, the first is a certificate, and it's supposed to be an official certificate. One thing I would say was when I looked at it, you know, the actual title, Senior Chief Petty Officer, is not printed straight onto the certificate. It goes down. So the middle document, I don't know a lot about customs in Turkey, but I do know that you would either have a Director General or you would have the Directorate of. You don't have a Directorate General.
This one, to me, looks slightly more legitimate.
Without doubt, yes. But I would be looking at, is that the address of the Department of Defense? It's an address to an address in Florida, and so that purports that they're sending it to an address in Florida, and yet the person is being given authority to leave a naval base in Kuwait. So how's he going to have received it in the first instance?
Yeah. So sometimes it's the content that you need to look out for, the grammar, what's actually being said, the department that someone cites.
Yeah.
But as well as that, it's also the formatting.
Yes.
That's quite a lot of information to be able to, use and make a judgment on a document with.
But that's the thing, it's just that degree of legitimacy.
Yeah.
But I would be fairly confident in saying that this is not legitimate.
With these documents potentially being fake, things are starting to look worrying for Alison.
She had sent Carl money to secure his release from prison in Dubai, but after his release, Carl fled to Turkey, where he told Alison he currently remained stuck due to ongoing customs issues with his luggage.
Where are you now in terms of emotionally, mentally? How are you feeling? Are you still talking?
Yeah, I still
to
get
him?
messages from him. From my point of view, part of me hopes he will come back. But it's because it's been going on for so long. I think part of me thinks it's never going to happen.
If all of this turns out to be a scam, how are you going to feel?
I'll be gutted, to be fair. But at least I've got some closure on the whole situation, and I can move forward with everything in my life.
What would you like us to do for you?
To try and find out if he's a genuine person I've been talking to for the last 2.5 years.
Okay. In the meantime, if he does contact you again, you know, please don't send him any more money.
No.
I want you to promise me
I
that
promise.
first of all.
Promise.
My meeting with Gary revealed the documents Alison was sent by Carl didn't add up. So I'm going to take a look online and see if I can find out any more. Alison was sent a customs and trade certificate by Carl. I want to take a closer look at the signature, so I'm going to crop it, search it, and hopefully it's going to give me some answers. It's taken me to the website of a motivational speaker, and actually this signature seems to belong to this speaker. So, this certificate is counterfeit. When Carl's luggage was seized by customs, Alison was contacted by someone claiming to be Carl's sister, Karen. I've just looked up the phone number and it seems to be registered to a Martha, not Karen. So clearly this story is not adding up. And I also uncover something extremely worrying when I cross-reference Carl's phone number too. This number does not belong to Carl, it's registered under someone called Fatima. You've got people commenting on this number. Someone says, this number is from an identity thief, not the person he said he is. Warning, exclamation mark, scammer. This number is a con. He says he's USA on ship, but needs someone to take a parcel in for. He then says customs have it and needs money sent to him to pay customs. This absolutely sounds like what happened to Alison, and of course, definitely not a good sign.
When the police investigate these romance frauds, time and again, the trail leads back to foreign shores. But in order to pull off their crimes, the scammers often need help from accomplices closer to home. A few months ago, we were invited to tag along with Kent Police's fraud squad as they closed the net on one such individual, a UK national with suspected links to a large-scale scamming network in Ghana.
It's 6 a.m. and the team are preparing to pay their suspect an unexpected early morning visit.
So we're Operation Parsley this morning, which is an investigation into a romance fraud where a vulnerable victim has lost a significant amount of money as a result.
A lady in her 60s has been scammed to the tune of £50,000, and Detective Sergeant Mark Cannoner has developed a crucial lead.
Our objective today is to secure the arrest of the suspect for conspiracy to defraud and money laundering.
Mark hopes this morning's raid will be a key moment in an investigation that stretches from here in Kent all the way to West Africa.
Now, key part of evidence is that our victim, she purchased 2 mobile phones which she sent to who she believed to be her boyfriend. Now, those phones, they're still being used, they're still being communicated with from victim to suspect, and ultimately will lead us to identify who he is and where he is. So it's gold dust for us.
Activity on the phones has revealed the fake boyfriend is not in the UK as the victim believes, but somewhere in Ghana. And the phones have also revealed a link from Ghana to a UK national here in Kent, and it would appear that this person is being used as a money mule by the Ghanaians. They're using his bank account to collect the money sent over by their victim.
This represents a loss of over £50,000 to our victim. We will have multiple victims, multiple bank accounts being used by money mules, and therefore It just shows the scale of the operation by these fraudsters.
The police gain access, but it appears the suspect lives in a flat within the property.
I can't see movement. Yeah. It's this one.
If you can, do you believe that he was in here?
Yes, sir.
But when did you last see him? 2 days ago. Okay.
Police, open the door.
And if he doesn't stay here, where would he stay?
Mr. Police, open the door with false entry.
Windows open.
Yeah.
Have you seen him recently? Okay. And do you expect him back here soon? Does he reside in this room with anyone else?
No, just him.
Just him?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Even though the suspect isn't at home, the team's warrant means they can search and seize evidence.
Our individual that we're after, we've got a phone number for him, so we will make contact with him. We'll arrange a time for him to come in to be formally interviewed. But in the meantime, the warrant allows us to search with or without the occupants.
Online scams are often organised by a network of criminals working in the UK and abroad who are clever at covering their tracks. So finding physical evidence is key to bringing them to justice.
We're looking for receipts, money transfers, banking documentation, anything that we can say that relates to the fraud we're investigating. Every little piece of evidence will help to attribute this offence to the individual we're looking at.
Just confirm, are we taking all laptops?
Yes, please.
Can we get a search box then, please, Rob?
Having obtained the suspect's phone number from a neighbour, Mark tries to give him a call.
Answer phone. Good morning, my name is Detective Sergeant Cannoner from Kent Police's fraud team. We're currently at your property executing a search warrant. Can you give me a call, please?
We've got a number of memory sticks, some mobile phones, some documentation and some laptops.
Ideal, okay. So we've also got some banking information for potential international transfers. So all items of relevance and evidential value to our investigation. He's not in, we know where he resides, we know who he is, so he can't evade our interests now.
Overnight, the suspect phoned the police station and agreed to come in for questioning. And sure enough, he dutifully arrives right on cue. It's just the outcome Mark was hoping for.
He's willing to talk and willing to give his account, so let's see what he's got to say.
We're going to interview you today in relation to money laundering and conspiracy to defraud in relation to a romance fraud investigation.
Right, if you come through this way, then we'll take you to interview now. Okay? You can take a seat over there. Okay? Thank you.
Okay. He's claimed ignorance as to any involvement in romance fraud or indeed in any sorts of frauds. It's for the Crown Prosecution to decide, and we'll let the individual know whether or not he'll be charged in time.
If a case is brought and the individual is found guilty of money laundering, they can face a maximum prison sentence of up to 14 years.
There's a victim at the end of this crime, a victim who's had a life-changing experience. We take this sort of crime very, very seriously, and we're very effective in bringing people to justice who are involved in this sort of scam.
Like the S Cannoner, we're trying to uncover the truth of another suspected romance fraud, Alison Belzey's relationship with the man purporting to be Carl Jones. I already have my suspicions he isn't who he says he is, so I've enlisted the help of Dan Winchester from Scamalytics, a cybersecurity company, to see if we can uncover anything else that undermines his story.
We got a match on this email address. Now, given that Carl is claiming to be a 56-year-old male, the match we got was quite interesting. It's a 36-year-old female called Stacey, and Stacey's account dates back to 2018. So we can see this email address has been used by a known scammer in 2018, and we can see that whoever's using this email address is posing as quite different identities. So for me, this is pretty much conclusive evidence that Carl is a scammer.
Dan also looked into the IP addresses used by Carl and Stacey. These are unique numbers generated by a computer when it goes online, and they can reveal the country you are accessing it from.
Stacey, she's claiming she's from the US. Carl's claiming he's from the US but stationed in Turkey. And if we check that IP address, we can see actually it's a Nigerian IP address, and it's operated by a Nigerian telco. So this is just a kind of consumer internet connection in Nigeria.
Just to be clear, if you're using a computer, say, in the US, you'd expect the IP address to also be from the US.
It's a massive red flag. The other thing we can see as we trace that IP address through our database is there's so many scammers on it.
So many.
That again, this doesn't look like someone that's just visiting Nigeria on holiday. This looks like perhaps this IP address has been used by an internet cafe or a small office, and that connection is creating loads and loads of fraudulent profiles. Important to note that obviously the people in these photos are not scammers, they are just ordinary people who've had their photos stolen. But you can see this Nigerian IP address, I just picked 4 of the 600, they are all claiming to be in the UK, but they're accessing from Nigeria.
And it's clear now that one of those 600 scammers was ripping off Alison Belsey. She's spent tens of thousands of pounds trying to get her online boyfriend, naval officer Carl Jones, into the UK. Thus far, she remains on her own and seriously out of pocket.
I mean, we just see from this one bit of evidence how far these scammers go and how persistent they are in just creating these profiles across the world. It's time for Alison to learn the truth.
Hi, Alison. This is Ashley.
Hi, Ashley.
Nice to meet you, Alison. You all right?
Yeah.
You seem upset already.
I know it's because I've seen the pictures.
Okay.
Carl said he needed money to release his luggage from Turkish customs and sent this certificate to her as proof. But there's a problem. The signature matches the name and signature of a life coach from the UK, and you will see that the signature on this website matches the signature on that certificate.
Yeah.
It's amazing what they can do.
The number of people who could have been potentially scammed by this person or gang is frightening. An IP address is the unique string of numbers that identifies a computer.
Yes.
I'm sure you know that.
Yes, I do.
Now, there's a team called Scamalytics, and they examine fake profiles on dating sites. And they found that the IP address used to create Carl's email address was based in Nigeria and used to create over 600 other scammer accounts.
It's heartbreaking.
I know it is. I can see that. How are you feeling right now? Honestly.
I was a bit gutted, really.
Understandably.
I feel like I've been in a relationship, but... and then it's just come crashing down.
Yeah, I know.
Do you want to take a breather?
And I'm okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Whilst it's been a tough day for Alison already, now it's time to reveal the man behind the photographs.
The photos, we believe, belongs to this person. Not a Carl, but a Richard. You recognise some of these pictures, don't you?
So this is a man, is in the military. His name is Richard Jones. He has an open Facebook page. And what we believe is that someone has stolen his photos and they've used those pictures to create a fake account.
We contacted Richard, who agreed to talk to us.
Before we contacted you, were you ever aware that your photos had been being used in a scam like this?
No, never. I'm just disgusted that there's people like that in the world.
Hi, Richard.
Hello. Sorry that you're in this situation.
Me too.
And I wish there was a way that you could get recouped on what this individual did to you.
I don't think there's much chance of that happening, in all fairness.
Richard, you can see how distressing this is for Alison, so I think we're going to thank you and leave it there.
But Alison isn't prepared to walk away without confronting the person behind this deception.
I'd like to give him a piece of my mind.
Ah. Well, we could do that right now if you like.
That would be most marvellous.
I'd like to call him.
Yeah.
I'll pretend I'm you.
Yeah.
And then we'll call him out on it. Carl, is that you, my darling?
How are you, babe?
Oh, I've been dying to speak to you.
It's me, babe. How are you?
I've been desperate to speak to you.
What happened to you? You've not been responding to messages on WhatsApp.
Oh, I'm sorry, I've been really busy.
I was getting very worried about you. So what's been going on?
Well, I'll tell you what's been going on, Carl. I'm not Alison, my name's Kim Marsh, and you're being recorded for broadcast on the BBC. We've been filming with Alison for the last few weeks, and we believe that Carl Thomas Jones is a fake identity you've created as part of a scam using Richard Jones' photos. What do you have to say to that?
What are you talking about?
I think you know what I'm talking about, don't you? I'm not even going to call you Carl, because that's not even your
I don't
name.
know what you're talking about.
You are a liar. You are extorting money out of innocent people. Alison, what do you want to say to him?
Why did you take my money?
Let's put the phone down. Put the phone down.
My days.
There's only one thing left for Alison to do.
You block it, you don't respond, and of course, and I think you know this, never part with your cash.
No, I know. I think I'm relieved, in all fairness, because it's been going on for so long. It's kind of like a weight lifted off my shoulders.
Wow. That's great to hear.
Yeah. Onwards and upwards. I'm stunned at the lengths that people will go to in order to get your money. I can put this nightmare of a chapter to rest and get back to being me.
I'm emotionally drained after that.
It was really hard to present that, and I think the only thing that keeps us going is knowing that we are giving them the truth, and it's an opportunity for them to get the reality of what's going on. But it was so difficult, man. That was really hard.
If you think you've been scammed in a similar way or been asked to send money to someone you've been talking to online, then we'd like to hear from you. Email us at loveormoney@bbc.co.uk.
Details of organisations offering information and support with fraud are available on the BBC Action Line website.